Good afternoon, everyone. Nick Nelson, Brandpreneur. The show will begin in just a few minutes, just allowing people enough time to get in. If you can hear me, let me know you're here. Put something in the comments, chat, say, what's up, Nick? Today, we have the remarkable Kay Whitaker with her. She gonna help us get our funnel on. Brand aid, starting in just 1 minute. Good afternoon. Thank you for spending your lunch with me while you learn. What's up, Ray? How you feeling? Good to see you. Brand aid with the remarkable Kay Whitaker. Hey, Lana, thank you for joining. Richard, hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining. All right. Welcome to Brand Aid. Today we have with us the remarkable Kay Whitaker. Kay is a digital marketing strategist. She's a bad chick. She really understands the whole concept of digital marketing. Digital marketing is important because far too often I talk to other professionals, coaches, entrepreneurs, etc., and we are used to word of mouth. Word of mouth is great. Word of mouth is some of the very best marketing that you can have. However, there is an audience of people that are out there that you can leverage technology to prompt, to reach, to use, to engage, so that they understand what it is that you do, right? Part of the problem is that, you're great, but not enough people know about you. Your social media following might not be as large enough to get that organic reach, and you need a bit of a push. What Kay does is she assists in helping organizations, entrepreneurs, or what have you, leverage digital tools, whether it be sales funnels, whether it be paid advertising or what have you, and assisting, leveraging those vehicles to take people on a journey from getting to know you to ultimately buying from you. And so that's what we're going to talk to today. So if you could please introduce yourself, Kay. Kay is with us here today. Why are you doing that? Hey, Kay, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, friend?
Good. I'm wonderful. I see you, Morgan. I appreciate you for joining. Selena, I see you as well. Thank you so much for joining us here today. So, Kay, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you, but let the people know you.
Yes. So for those of you, hello, everybody. Thank y'all for hanging out with us on your lunchtime. Nick, that was an amazing introduction. I was like, man, I need to take Nick with me when I'm on the road. That's how you set it up. Goodness gracious. But for those of you that have never met me before, my name is Kay Whitaker. And like Nick said, I am a digital marketer. I'm a digital marketer. I'm a blogger. I'm a wife. I've got 4 children, and I kind of geek out on this technology stuff. So like Nick said, I help you for doing everything from taking that amazing content that he's teaching you how to create on LinkedIn and turning that into an automated sales process for you while you're online so that you can free up your time and create more content, do what you get paid to do, but have a system working on the back end for you that is actually converting into sales. So I don't have a whole lot of time to spend, as far as on the phone is concerned. And I know a lot of us don't want to hire out externally for salespeople. So what we're going to talk about today is the whole idea of the sales funnel, acting as an online salesperson for you and actually taking people through a sales process to create more sales, even when you are not online.
Thank you. Now, before we get started with Kay, as we always do, I want to get an understanding of who's in the audience. So we're going to do our poll. Are you a business owner, or are you an entrepreneur, or are you a business owner with a side hustle? Help us out here, because by you answering out that poll, what it does is it allows us to really tailor her presentation and what it is she's speaking about. So it looks like overwhelmingly we have business owners here. and people with side hustles. We'll let that
Okay.
run for a little while, but why don't you go ahead and get started, Kay, for us?
All right, so let's hop in, guys. I'm gonna go over to my presentation. We're gonna start that. So, Nick, I
I'll
don't know how
start it
to.
for you. Don't even
All
worry
right.
about it. I got you. There you go.
Today we're talking about the art of the sales funnel, and I know that sales funnels are not the sexiest idea in the world. And a lot of times when I'm talking to business owners, it's a little bit intimidating because there are some myths behind sales funnels that we've been told, or the information that we've learned has been given to us in a way that's strictly for marketers, but the layman business owner don't understand any of that googly gop we talk as marketers, so it doesn't make sense. So my goal today is to help you understand what can be an intimidating and overwhelming process and put it in plain English for you so you understand what a sales funnel is and how it will positively impact your bottom line as a business owner. I had some slides presented here, but Nick has already done an amazing job of introducing me. So we're going to skip over this. But I want you to look at my crew real quickly right here. This is a part of why I got into sales funnels. I've been doing business online now for about 7 years. And when I started, I had 2 kids. I was freshly married. We had, no, I'm lying. I'm sorry. We had 3 kids, and I wanted to be able to, for a minute, I thought I was going to be an at-home mom. God bless me where he laid me off from my job, and I went home and I thought, oh, I can just, take care of the kids and the husband. And that quickly turned into something that was just not a reality for me. But I did realize that I needed to do something in order to fulfill my purpose. I have 15 years experience in sales and marketing before I started working online. So I enjoyed the job. I enjoyed the work. I just didn't enjoy the job. So I had to figure out how I could do that work from home, but do it in a way where I could fulfill both things. I still wanted to be a mother, still wanted to have some form of tradition in place, but I still wanted my check. So I had to figure out how to make that work. And for me, it was discovering how to create a system that would allow me to do both of those things. And if you are a parent and you're trying to run your business, you understand that the time constraints of both can be increasingly on both sides. So either I was doing really well at being a mom and wasn't doing so great at being a business person, or I was spending all of my time in the business and not enough time at home. So there was never really a good balance. So I had to figure out how to create a balance. And that's what sales funnels did for me. I was able to learn how to create a system that I could go. I've always loved social media. So I'd go and I'd do all of this great stuff online. And I had a place where I could send people to find out more information about how I could help and actually start the process, so that all I had to do was show up for a 15-minute call, talk about confirming what they needed as far as services were concerned, give them the rundown on how it would work in order for them to become a client, send out some paperwork, and call it a day. So what would have normally taken me hours to do in prospecting, I know you guys had a conversation about prospecting, I was able to cut some of that time down because now I was creating content and sending them where I wanted them to go to in order to fulfill a goal, if that makes sense. So one's in the comments if that makes sense. So my goal for you today is to do a couple of things. I am going to demystify some of those myths that you've heard about sales funnel as far as the difficulty is concerned, as far as the technology is concerned, the expenses, the confusion around how to create a sales funnel. I'm going to help you to understand what a funnel is and how it benefits your business. And then what I think is most important, after we have those conversations about what's true and what's not true about the funnels and what it really means to your business, I want to take you through a scenario to help you to understand the type of content that you need to have prepared if you want to either build your funnel yourself or hire someone to build your funnel in a basic scenario. We're going to go through a very basic sales funnel today. So before we get into the presentation today, I want you to make sure you got pens, papers, and you're tuned in, because this is going to be an opportunity for you to take great notes. And if you play your cards right today, If you're a service provider that needs to speak to a potential client before you offer your services to them, you will know exactly what you need to have in place in order to create a sales funnel that converts. Y'all all right with that? Does that sound like a plan? One's in the comments if that sounds like a plan.
It sounds like a plan to me. I'm with you.
With
it? I'm taking notes right now.
All right, let's go. All right, so here's some things that you might have heard, or you may have even been guilty about saying as it relates to sales funnels. Sales funnels are difficult to build. We're going to get to a slide in just a second where I know you're familiar with it. If you have ever heard anything about sales funnel, you have seen this example before. And if you are anything like I was when I first started, you were like, what are we talking about? So sales funnels are difficult. One's in the comments if you've ever said that before. You might have even thought that you have to have a huge social media audience in order for your funnel to be relevant and in order for it to convert. So you might have equated your presence online to the success of your sales funnel. You might have even thought that sales funnels are only for internet marketers. That's like for those big people that go out and they only use the internet to market their business. And then you might have even said that you need expensive technology to build a funnel. Anybody guilty of any of these thoughts here? Here we go. I see y'all. All right, so here we go. When it comes to sales funnels, this is probably what you've been used to seeing. Am I right? You get these marketers that come online and they talk about the 5 stages of a sales funnel, right? The sales funnel, the whole goal of the sales funnel is to create awareness about your business, to ignite some type of interest, to evaluate whether or not they're ready, to gauge their engagement, and then to get them to buy. If you're anything like me, I'm a simple person, okay? I run a business. I've got children. They all busy when we're not locked up for Corona. I really don't have the mental capacity to think about all of these things in one brain, and I'm a marketer. So I know that if I'm a marketer and these 5 stages of the sales funnel confuse me, as a business owner, I can completely understand your overwhelm as it relates to creating a sales funnel or your reservations about creating a sales funnel, because in my mind, this just seems like too much to learn. Am I right? Could you agree with that? But what if I told
Let me tell you, I completely agree with you, because the thing about this is that it looks easy.
It looks easy.
You see sales funnels, and like when you see those Instagram ads, people pop up and then they take you to that landing page and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden you see that same commercial come into your Facebook feed. You're like, okay, how the hell is all this happening? And it looks easy, but I know for a fact it is not as easy.
It's not as easy. But if you look at this, right or wrong, Nick, like you look at this and say, oh, okay, I just need to create a little awareness. But at each stage of this funnel, there is something specific that needs to happen.
Correct.
And as a regular business person that's not a marketer, you can quickly become overwhelmed with 1 or 2 things that you got to figure out. But now we got 5 things sitting in our lap and we're like, how the hell I put this together?
Right.
And I don't even know the questions that I need to ask in order to make all of this make sense.
And the thing about it is, it's hard enough for most business people or most people in general. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm saying online. How in the world am I going to manage this as well? So before you get too much further in it, I have another poll that I want just so we can get an understanding of just the type of audience you have out here. Mm-hmm. Have you ever done a sales funnel? Have you ever even attempted to create a sales funnel? Do you have a funnel, right? Yes or no? Yes or no in the poll. It's almost 100% of people here doesn't have a funnel. This is right for you. Proceed.
All right, let's get into it. All right. So this becomes a point of contention for you, right? So I can understand why all of you guys that are here with us don't have anything in place, because business is hard in itself. Doing the business that I have takes a considerable amount of brain power, and then having to figure out how to get my message to the people that need to hear it. That's a whole nother thing. Sales isn't a whole nother thing. So this becomes a point of contention for you. And anytime we come against something that creates too much resistance, what do? We flee, right? We just don't do anything. I'm guilty of it. If I can't get it right the first time, I'm just like, you know what? I'll come back to it. And every time I look at it, it brings back that emotion. And I'm like, you know what? On another day. So today I want to help you do something. I'm going to take this graph out of your mind. I want you to completely forget about everything you've ever seen about a sales funnel. Okay. And here is what I want you to know about a sales funnel. This is the only thing that matters. Forget those 5 stages. This is what you need to know. You ready? Y'all ready? Your sales funnel is an online vehicle that helps navigate people that are interested in your service through a sales process and replaces you as the salesperson. That's it. That's all you need to know. Don't go into awareness, engagement, all of that. All you need to think about as it relates to your sales funnel is, I need to figure out a way, a system that I can create that can take somebody that has the intent on looking for someone to help them with the service that I offer, to start a conversation and to get to the finish line. That's it.
So you lost me already. Can't nobody sell like me. Okay. So how you gonna have some technical thing, right, replace me? Like that doesn't work. So you're gonna have to sell me on this one.
So here we go. All right. I'm glad you asked, Nick. Thanks for popping in. So here we go. Let's start here, right? Let's start with the goal of your sales funnel. When you're creating a sales funnel, let's think about your process. You have to understand the process that it takes in order for a potential client to become a customer. So the goal of your sales funnel is not to sell the end result. That's your job. The goal of the sales funnel is to get them started in the process. It's to bring them in into the first thing that they would need to do in order to become a customer of yours. So for those of you that are service-based businesses, where in order for your client, in order for a potential customer to become a client of yours, they have to book a call. The goal of your sales funnel is to get them to take the action to book the call. You're not here selling whatever service you're offering. You are here getting them to take action. You want to spark enough interest that says, okay, this is what working with me is like. This is overall what we can help you accomplish. But in order to get started, you got to book a call first. And that's the point of your funnel. It's the entry point to your sales process. It is not the sales process. Does that make sense? Does that clear it up?
I got it. I got it.
In addition to that,
I can still sell, I can still close, but this gets them to me, right?
This gets them to you. This gets them to take the step that needs to happen. In addition to that, your funnel should also, this is the marketing piece behind the engine. Your funnel should also follow up with people that don't finish what they started. So fun fact, all right? 90%, almost 90%, I think the number is around 87% of the people that will start a process will not finish it online. What does that mean, Kay? That means I could be a potential customer looking for your services. I could find something that you created on LinkedIn, something that you created on Instagram. And I'm like, oh, you know what? That chick looks like she can help. Let me go to her website and see what she has to offer. I get there. I have every intention on starting a problem or starting this process. Yeah, I need to book a call. I see the sales funnel page. I see the landing page. And I'm like, oh yeah, that looks interesting. That's exactly what I need. But guess what? The phone rings and I'm on my phone. I get engaged in this 30-minute conversation and I completely forget what I was doing in the beginning, but I did get far enough to start the process. I just did not finish it. Well, for those people, you need to have follow-up in place that finishes the process with them. Or Another scenario might be I started, but then you started asking me for information that I didn't have. So I needed to go and research that information. Then something pop up. I got a notification on Instagram, or I got an email that I needed to respond to, or I've got 4 kids and one of the kids fell down the stairs. Anything could happen. Life happened and it took me away from that landing page, and I completely forgot what I was doing. As a salesperson, you want to have the ability to follow up with them without you having to manually do it, to remind them that, hey, you started this process because you were looking for this thing and you didn't finish it. Let's go ahead and finish that up. Make sense? Wands in the comments if that makes sense.
It makes sense to me. Now, one of the questions I have here is, okay, so how does that occur? Because a lot of what I've seen in terms of sales funnels, and I'm sure you're gonna get through this, is that they're very email dependent. But do people still use email? We on social now.
Yeah,
right?
we use email.
Is email still even relevant?
Yes, we're gonna get to that. When we start going through the scenario, I'm gonna show you exactly how this works, because
Okay,
you
hold on.
absolutely have
Real
email.
quick, I'm gonna create a poll real quick because I just need to understand this. While you're doing that, I want to understand yes or no. Hold on. Do you still use email?
Come on, email. Let's see.
Yes
I'm gonna go to the poll too.
or no? Because I'm gonna tell you. If you send me an email, oh my God! Like if you hit me on DM, you're gonna find me. But email, I can't. I'm sorry. We're gonna publish it right now because I want to know. Keep on going though. You're doing a great job, okay?
Okay, here we go. So we got a considerable amount of people that are still using email. I like that. Keep that same energy. Don't go anywhere. And I'm gonna address what you just said too, Nick. But you want to have something in place that follows up. Now, the whole idea behind automation is to follow up with the person with the intent, but you can also automate what you should be doing as well. So we're going to discuss that because I've got some campaigns for some people that are really social heavy that prefer the DM versus email, and I'll explain to you how we make that work. All right. So the third goal of your sales funnel is to close the initial action. All right. So I started the process. I want to book a call. I didn't finish it because whatever happened in life. So you need something in place that's going to help them take that initial action. Once the initial action is done, you also want to have some things automated behind the scenes to get them ready for what they signed up for. But on the front end, these are the primary goals of your sales funnel. All right. So if done correctly, if you do this correctly, and this will kind of address some of the questions that you have as well. If done correctly, your sales funnel, the automation in your sales funnel could answer questions on your behalf, provide proof of your abilities. It will save time in getting your prospect into your sales funnel or into your sales process. So correct me if I'm wrong, but when we're prospecting, when we're doing outbound sales, we're spending a lot of time going back and forth because we wouldn't necessarily send a person that we're having a one-on-one conversation with to a sales funnel, right? We're having an intimate conversation with them. There's relationship being built. We're going to do that part ourselves, but sometimes that can take a little time because you're going back and forth about what's going to work for them, what time's going to work for you. You're having to kind of work the schedules out manually yourself. Well, that time that you would spend in a one-on-one relationship, your sales funnel will handle for you because you have the ability to show them immediately what needs to happen in order for them to take that step, okay? So it's going to free up your time so that you can spend more time finding more people to go into this funnel or doing what you actually get paid to do, all right? So here we go. The elements of your sales funnel, just like you have goals and just like there's some things that your sales funnel should have in place, there's some elements of your sales funnel that are going to make it successful. So a lot of times when I'm working with customers, we want to put everything on the funnel so that people know exactly what they're getting into. And that is not the goal. Like I said earlier, your goal is to get them to take the first step. You don't have to sell the whole shebang because you ultimately are the best salesperson for the service that you offer. But you do want to provide enough information to get them interested in talking to you. So I'll give you a prime example of what that looks like. I'll use myself as an example. I run a digital marketing agency. And as Nick said so eloquently in the beginning, I can help you with advertising. I can help you with sales funnels. I can run this stuff for you, copywriting. I don't want to sell all of that. I don't want to talk about all of that on my sales funnel, in my initial sales funnel. The only thing that I want you to do is know that I'm an amazing digital marketer. By working with me, we're going to increase your sales. By working with me, we're going to increase your presence online, and that other people have agreed to that as well and have seen some results. And in order for you to work with me to help you get more money online, then you need to book a call. That's it. It's a single focus. I'm not throwing everything in the kitchen sink at you. Okay. The second element that's going to make it successful is that it's going to initiate action. If this is what you want, then I need you to do this. You'd be surprised how many times you can go to a person's website or to a landing page and it's still not clear what needs to happen in order for this person to start the process. Or you've got several different actions in place and people need specific instructions on what to do. What do you want me to do? One thing, one action. All right. And in addition to that, you need to be supported by the right tools. There's nothing worse than having the experience where somebody actually wants to work with you and they start the process of working with you and there's no follow-up and they don't know what to do next. And you have to take 24, 48 hours in order to get back to them. It defeats the purpose. You have to have the right tools in place in order to make this process work. And sales funnels is not all about technology, but once you've identified the goal, you need to make sure that you've got the tools in place that are going to support you accomplishing the goal in the most efficient way possible.
So one of the things, Kay, that you mentioned that struck me, and I want to make certain that everybody is clear on this. Sales funnels, you are selling. How many things are you selling?
One.
The difference between a sales funnel and your website, right? Your website has all this information and it's great reference, but people don't know what to do, where to go. They don't know what they're buying. They just don't know. It's too much. With sales funnels, they have a singular focus of getting people to know what it is, and then ultimately making the decision point, am I or am I not interested? And if I am, what transaction needs to happen? Yep. And the thing that you stated, Kay, that I think is very, very important for people to understand. Far too often, I see especially consultants, coaches, etc., trying to sell the world, trying to sell all these packages and stuff like that. The only thing you are selling is what?
Your meeting, the first thing that they need to do. That's it. Don't keep all that extra to yourself, because you know what happens when you start giving options? People get confused. You remember the 5 stages of the sales funnel? That's too much. It's too much information. So while you think you're being helpful and getting people ready, and this is what they need to know when we get on the phone, they need to be ready to make a decision. There's a better way to educate people on how you can help. And it's not that first interaction. This is your first impression zone. And what do they say about the first impression? It's a lasting impression. So you don't want this first impression with working with you to be confusing and overwhelming, because you are setting the tone on how the rest of the relationship is going to be, whether you realize it or not. So it's important that you're concise, you're sharp, you're clear, you're to the point, because this, my friend, is going to help you to set the standard of how your communication plan is going to go as far as working together and what they can expect from you in a working relationship. It's those intangible things that go a long way. People may not even realize that that's what's happening, but this sets your level of professionalism up. And if you have a premium price service, or you want to charge more for the service that you offer, this, my friend, will help you do that, because you are coming out of the gate allowing people to have an experience with you that demands quality and value. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. So your value, and I'm going to say this.
Has a question. One of the questions have, so are we selling, i.e. discovery call, or are we actually selling the consult strategy call? especially if the discovery call is free.
Discovery call. You sell the discovery call. If you have not, so let's go back to prospecting, right? When we're doing outbound prospecting, we have an opportunity to establish some relationship and some rapport. But even in that time, the goal is to get people on the phone so that you can further understand what their needs are and kind of position your services, as the solution to what they need. The sales funnel is not going to qualify your prospect. It is going to signify the intent. You are able to assume as the business owner that if somebody books a discovery call and if your landing page is set up correctly, and I'm going to take you through that process, that their intent is to work with you for a specific problem. Okay. So you know that the intent is to look for somebody to help them with this. The discovery call is your qualifying moment where you ask a few questions, spend about 15 minutes figuring out what their need really is, and then position your service as the solution to their problem. Make sense?
Now, what if I have a product? Because my girl Ty is like, hey, this is great. You know, a call is wonderful, but what if I actually have a product that I'm selling? Am I still selling a call?
Yes, you can still use a funnel. So if you have a product that you're selling, you are considered e-commerce, right? So in an e-commerce, this is retail sales. So I want you to pay attention to the offers that you see retailers put out. And I'm not telling you that a discount or anything like that is applicable for your sales funnel. It just depends on what your product is. But if you have a product, you still want to drive traffic to this singular focus, and that product, you need to have some positioning in place to say, okay, if you buy this product today, this is the benefit in buying it today. This is what it's going to help you accomplish. Is there an opportunity for a person to buy a single product or a bundle of the product? It would really depend on what the product is. But yes, absolutely, you want to have the product in place on a phone.
And speaking of products in place, we have a wonderful offer from Miss K. She's talked to you about in terms of, you know, the phone conversation first. Don't try to make the sale, but it's all about understanding what the problem is, right? Mm-hmm. She is willing for our audience to just get on the phone with you and have a complimentary consult and say, okay, what problem are you trying to figure out? And if you do decide to do some work with her, she'll provide you a nice little discount. So you'll see that offer on your screen right now. Take your time. But if you do like what you're hearing with Kay, definitely, I approve this message. She is the bomb. So definitely. All right. Keep on going, sis. You're doing great.
Absolutely. So Marlon, I'm going back to a comment. I see something. Marlon said, good transactional system, but you have to establish your value proposition as well as draw them in. So sales funnels are the system that support the marketing that you're doing off on social media. So for example, Nick makes amazing videos and he's teaching you how to make amazing content. If done properly, your content establishes your value proposition. Your content establishes you as the thought leader or the influencer or the authority in your specific industry. And if you use your content right, when you have that call to action throughout your content, you have already kind of established your value. You will have a value proposition statement on your sales funnel, but the whole idea of sales funnels is to draw in traffic from efforts that you're doing offline, online, and the like, where you have already established your value as who you are. And now you're just sending traffic to this place so that they can take you up on the service that you provide. Make sense? Wanted to make sure I addressed that before I went on. All right, here we go. So here is an example of most common types of funnels. Okay, so there are several different types of funnels that you create. Today we're talking a lot about service providers, but there are funnels designed strictly for building your email list. There are funnels designed strictly for scheduling appointments or doing demonstrations or webinars. This is a great example of a funnel. There are funnels that are in place for actually selling an actual product. So there are several different types of funnels. These are most common, but funnels can go on and on and on and on. They're very catered to the type of business that you have. Any business can use a funnel, okay? Today, we're going to go through a scenario for a service provider. And if you are a service provider that's here, now's your time where you really start to write, okay? And if you sell a product, I want you to take this scenario that we're going through and transfer it into your own business. And if you struggle and you have some doubts still afterwards, or you still have questions, like Nick said, I have an offer for you where I can talk to you for free. It doesn't cost you anything, and I can tell you how I can help, all right? So for today's scenario, we're going to be working with an interior designer that offers full service design and e-design services in order to book those services, she has to speak with the client first, okay? So based off of this scenario, based off of what we just talked about as far as the most common types of funnels, right? Lead magnet, schedule an appointment, or sell a product. Which type of funnel do you think we should build for this particular business owner? Schedule an appointment. Absolutely. All right. So here we go. We are going to get the content. We're going to help this interior designer prepare her content for her funnel. Okay. So here's what we do. In order to build a funnel, to schedule an appointment, I want you to think about what's going to be required in order for a person to schedule an appointment without you. So I'm going to go back. I know you probably saw it and you probably cheated just a little bit, but what in your mind, if a person needs to schedule an appointment without you, what do you think that they should have in place?
I'll take a landing page for 100, Alex.
Yes. Did you cheat? Did you see it? Or is this you?
You know I cheated. I went to come on, I went to an HBCU. We use everything we can.
All right. So yes, you need a landing page. And since y'all cheated, I would just go ahead on and walk through what you need. Okay. So some answers that I usually get when I ask this question when we're going through this type of presentation is, oh, you need a scheduler. Yes, you need a scheduler. But if you only have a scheduler in place, you are going to lose the opportunity to kind of sell yourself just a little bit. And you also lose the opportunity to do what I call a two-step opt-in process. And I'm going to explain to you the importance of that in just a second. So in order to build this type of infrastructure that is going to support a potential client booking her time without her, there are a couple of things that she's going to need. She's going to need a landing page to kind of showcase her as the interior designer. And immediately following that landing page, she needs a thank you page. And on the thank you page, this is where the instructions are going to come to help the person take the action that she wants them to take. And we're going to go through each one of these independently so you can know what to put there. Okay. In addition to that, if she wants someone to book an appointment without her, probably need to have an appointment scheduler in place. And then if we are using wisdom, and we're following the model that we discussed earlier, we want to make sure that we're going to have something in place because we're asking people to take a two-step process that will follow up and close the action. And then we also want to go a step further because remember, we're professionals and we're kind of setting the tone on how our relationship is going to go. We also want something that once that appointment is set, that follows up and sets the expectation on what they should have prepared when they come to your meeting. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this?
Yes.
All right. So on your landing page, here is what you must include. You have to have, and I'm going to go through these and explain these. You have to have a header with the CTA. Okay. A CTA is a marketer's term for a call to action. And on your landing page, you're kind of going to tell a story. All right. So when someone gets to a landing page that is specifically designed for a sales funnel, you are taking them through a story. The first part of that story is to capture people that don't need any other information. They came here because they already know what time it is. They already know what they want, and they are ready to get started. That is what your header serves. Okay. So in your header, you're going to have something like, okay, are you looking for a designer to help you design the home of your dreams? If so, book a complimentary call below to speak with Danielle about how we can help. And immediately under there, there's going to be an opportunity for them to take the first step and give you their name, email, and hit request a call. Why are they only putting in their name and email, Kay? Because what did I tell you? 87% of the people that start a process don't finish. If we ask them for name, phone number, email, date that they want to have the meeting, all of that information up front, we are going to lose the opportunity to follow up, because sometimes having to enter in all of that information right away can be intimidating for the prospect. So what we want to do is we want to make this easy, take the pressure off, and we want to get the first commitment. And that first commitment is to request time with me. Are you following me? All right.
Yes.
So once they've requested time, then you're going to take them to the thank you page, which we'll talk about later on. But what if I'm not quite ready yet and I'm still scrolling? Because I still need a little bit more information before I make up my mind as to whether or not I want to request this call from you. The next part of your landing page needs to tell a different story, and that story is going to be what they're going to accomplish through your services. Now, this is the highlight reel. This is not the details. This is if you're looking for a designer that can help you lay out your home that's going to be comfortable, help you to entertain, give you a space that you can be proud to come home to, then working with Danielle helps you do so. And then immediately after that declaration, you want to have proof that you can get this done. What is proof? Proof is testimonials. Y'all following me here? So now we've told another story for the person that needs just a little bit more information, because if I wasn't ready and I'm still scrolling, then I'm still learning about who Danielle is and how she can really help me. And it's no longer about what Danielle says she can do, because now I see the proof in her abilities based off of what someone else said that she can do. Okay. So now I've told another little story, and I'm going to give that person the ability to request their call. Immediately after that, I'm going to say, ready to get started? Great. Request your complimentary call here. Name, email, button to request the call. Okay. If that still doesn't work and we still need to tell a narrative about Danielle, then we're going to continue down the page and we're going to give some brief credentials about who Danielle is. Danielle is a luxury designer. She's been designing homes for the past 15 years. She's been featured in Elle magazine and all of these other places. She's worked with this person, that person, this person, that person, and she's excited about helping you design your home. Just as a reminder, when you work with Danielle, these are the things that you're going to be able to accomplish. Ready to get started? Great. Request your complimentary call below. You see what I did? I told a story. The top part of my story is for the person that's ready to take action now. The second part of my story is for the person that needs to understand exactly how Danielle's going to help me and maybe needs a little bit of social proof that somebody else kind of says that Danielle is who she says she is. And then the third part of that is for that person that's just like, now, who is this Danielle chick? Are you really who you say you are? That needs some more credentials and a little bit of a reminder of what's going to happen when she works with Danielle. Y'all following me? That's your landing page. That's all you need to do. Make sense? Y'all ready for the next part?
I'm with you.
All right. So the next part is after the person has requested their call, because we didn't say schedule, we said request a complimentary call because we're still kind of in control. But now after they've requested their call, they're going to be taken to their thank you page. And on their thank you page, here is the place where that automation starts to come in, because you're going to be excited about them requesting time to speak with you. Thank you so much for your interest in working with Danielle. She's so excited to talk with you. The easiest way to get on Danielle's calendar is to schedule a time below that works for you. We've included her calendar with her availability. All you have to do is go pick a time that works for you and get on her calendar. Two things just happened here. One, I captured potential clients' information. So just in case life happens between now and the schedule, I got their information so that I can follow up and help them finish. And then two, I've said, okay, we're going to make this easy for you. Now I'm doing them a favor and saying, hey, my calendar is available to you. Choose whatever works for you. No pressure. No pressure. Some will take the action and go ahead and book. Some may be like, you know what? I need to check my calendar and completely forget. But if they forget, no problem, because we've got follow-up in place that's going to help them finish the process. But your thank you page is the next steps. Here's what's next. Y'all see where I'm going? I'm taking them through a process. Step one, request a call. Step two, schedule your call. All right. If they schedule, then we've got follow-up in place that gets them ready for the appointment. But if they don't, here is where we stop. Here is where most business people stop and do not follow up. They don't follow up to get them into the process. Now, before we go into the follow-up, let's talk about your scheduler, because this is going to be important. When we talk about the tools that we need, it's important that we have a scheduler and we have a CRM attached to that scheduler where they talk to each other, because what we don't want to happen, we're getting ready to go into like some major follow-up. And once they take the action and do what we want them to do, we want to stop that communication. So these two need to play nice with each other. And we can talk about tools and all that other stuff at some other time, but this is just something to keep in mind when you're choosing the tools that you're going to implement to this process. Do they play nice with each other? If somebody schedules, will it stop this follow-up? That's the only question that you need to ask. And if you can't answer that question, then you can reach out to the tools directly, or you can reach out to the person that's helping you to implement the process.
Hey, one of the questions we have from Morgan, which I think is a good one, is instead of sending them to a thank you page, can we just have them go directly to the schedule page? So basically going through and over, getting directly to it,
If you can customize the message on the scheduler, I say yes. But
Okay.
But with your scheduler, you should be able to take that appointment and embed it into the thank you page, just with the piece of code, and just drop it on the page. So it's still taking them directly there, but you want a personalized message. So if I request a call and I go straight to your calendar, it's safe to assume that I know that I need to go ahead and book a time. But if there's not instructions there, remember, we're clear, concise. We want to make sure that there's no room for confusion.
Sure.
If there's no instructions there to tell me what's next, I might assume that I need to do something, or it might spark a question like, what do I do with this? And you don't want questions.
Right.
And
because this is an automated process.
Absolutely.
You have to be very, very clear and just take people methodically all the way through the process. Got it.
Yep. Okay. And Morgan Acuity lets you take those calendars and embed them to the thank you page. You want to have that in place. Just embed it and have some instructions there for them.
Okay. All right. She said it makes sense. Thank you. Okay.
Cool. All right. So once they've taken your desired action, we're going to have some emails, of course, that will follow up and set the expectations for the meeting. But what if they don't? What if they start this process, don't finish? They're going to need a little help getting it finished. So we want to make sure that we have something in place that helps this process. So your goal, email marketing. I know a lot of you all said that you still use email marketing. I want you to understand the role of email marketing. Just like your sales funnels job is to take people and enter them into your sales process, the email marketing is like the second leg of the race. The role of email marketing is to take a person from one step in the process to the next, right? You started this, you didn't finish, you still got a little more race to run. So these emails, the goal of these emails is to pull them into the next step of the process. Okay. So if someone starts but doesn't finish, we generally allow about 15 minutes for them to finish their process. If they don't finish in 15 minutes, something happened, right? And we want to be right on that immediately. So it doesn't matter what day of the week, what time it is, within 15 minutes, if they have not scheduled that appointment, we're going to have some follow-up in place that goes out to say, hey, Morgan, you started the process of booking some time with Danielle, but we missed you getting on the calendar, and that's your appointment's not confirmed until we have your time scheduled. So would you mind doing us a favor and going back and choosing a time that works for you? No problem. You don't have to go back to your website. Here's the link. Just go and schedule a time that works. Send them back to where they were before. Okay. If that doesn't work, then it's safe to assume that somebody may need some additional information from you. When we're running sales funnels, we are always assuming that if a person starts a process and doesn't finish, that they need additional information. Okay. That's always the assumption. Either they need additional information or something happened. Either way, we are now going to use our emails to move them from the starting point to the next point through education. And the way we're going to do that is saying, okay, well, maybe, they started this process and got cold feet. So maybe they need a little bit of an introduction to whomever they're going to speak to. So when we're running these for organizations and there's a sales team in place, we generally will introduce the sales team. Hey, Morgan, you started the process of booking an appointment with Danielle the other day. It doesn't look like we were able to get you on the calendar. So my name is Salesperson, and I'm going to be the one that you're going to speak with. So I thought it'd be a great idea for me to introduce myself, let you know who I am, and let you know that I'm waiting on you to get on the calendar. Do you need some help? Okay. If it's you as the salesperson, then that email comes from you. All right. We're assuming that maybe they just need to put a face to the messaging, and this makes it a little bit more personal. It does some of that prospecting for you, some of that relationship building for you on your behalf. But if that doesn't work, then maybe we need to prove ourselves a little bit more.
So question for you, how do we make some of this not feel so fake? Because I get a lot of correspondence and I can really just tell when it's not a person, right? So how do you personalize it enough so that it feels like I'm not in a funnel?
In a funnel, you have to think about your customers. So a part of prospecting and a part of content creation is really understanding how your persons think, how your potential people will respond to certain types of content, and what verbiage they use. And for me, I always think about one person, right? So when I'm emailing, I'm like, okay, I am emailing my best customer. This is how she talks to me. This is how she thinks. And if she had a question like, okay, I'm not ready yet, or, who am I going to talk to? What would I say to her? So I'm literally writing the email as if I'm speaking to one person. I'm using you, me, I'm using words that are conversational so that it feels like I'm only talking to you. I'm inserting their names into the email. I'm always referencing the last action that they took. So if this second email goes out and I'm introducing myself as the salesperson, I'm going to say to you, hey, I'm Kay, and I'm emailing today because I noticed that a couple of days ago, you started the process of booking this appointment and we didn't get you finished. I know sometimes it's easier just to put a face to a name. So today I thought it'd be a great idea if I introduce myself as the person that you're going to be speaking to, give you a little bit of information about how it's going to work when we talk, to see if that helps you go ahead and get on the calendar. If there's any reservations, if you have any questions, feel free to either respond to this email or go ahead and book your time so we can get you on the calendar. I'm talking to you as if I were talking to you if I'm following up in an email and I didn't get a response from you from the initial email that I sent out.
Okay, and that's a good answer to the question. We also have one from Lana in terms of what are your thoughts on the frequency for running email series, daily, weekly? What's your recommendation there?
For this, I'm aggressive and it's going out every few days. And here's why. In the beginning, when someone signs up for your stuff, we like to think we're special, right? We like to think that we've made a big enough impact that they're just going to remember us for the rest of our lives. But the reality is, it's just like social media is noisy, so is your inbox.
Mm-hmm.
And if a person starts a process of filling out a form, that means they've probably started that process with a lot of other people. And there's a lot of people coming into their inbox. So you've got to get to the point quickly. And if you put too much time between the initial interaction and the follow-up, then you run the risk of forgetting who you are. So it's really good to serve with content. You've got content on the front end that establishes your expertise and creates awareness, but your email content is going to educate and provide value so that when they see your emails and they open them, you're not wasting their time. You're not just asking them for something. You're actually referring to a relationship that started between the two of you, but you are asking them to finish in a realistic way. So this series will go out over the course of like a week and a half. And that's because I need to get to that response quickly, or they're going to forget who I am.
It's about being top of mind because everybody is competing for attention, and top of mind actually wins the day in this environment. All right. For those who don't finish the sell process, and then we'll have you continue, do you keep them as a subscriber and they become a part of your overall list?
Yes.
Okay.
I have got a system that's so sophisticated that if this doesn't happen, I add them to my regular newsletter list. And in my newsletters, if I'm sending out an email once a week or once every couple of weeks, there is always a postscript that says, hey, if you're looking to speak with someone about how to establish your digital presence, we still have complimentary calls available. We're available to talk to you. Book your call here. And it's just a little link. So the reminder's always there. Just because they don't do what I want them to do right here, or they're not ready yet, doesn't mean that they're not valuable to me. And I've closed clients that have been on my list for years, and they just didn't get the courage to do what they needed to do. It's not really about you in this case. Right. You're providing information to help them make a decision, but there's so many things that are affecting people's ability to make a decision about what they're going to do according to the service that you offer, that you just got to stay in front of people. And like you said, Nick, it's about being top of mind. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not using their emails to stay top of mind. Correct. And those numbers that they keep talking about, 16 impressions, 7 impressions, 24 impressions, like it takes visibility for someone to get comfortable with you. And they could have been emotional in the moment. Yeah, I need that. But then something happens and they got back to realize, oh, I'm not ready yet. So you continue to educate. And you continue to provide value. Don't email them with no bull. Like it can't be BS, but as long as you're providing value and you're adding to them, then you'll keep a subscriber. And when they're ready and you make the offer available, they'll take you up on it.
Excellent. All right. Thank you.
All right. So if your introduction of the salesperson didn't work, then, I'm at that point like, okay, I introduced myself. They weren't ready yet. All right, then maybe let me share some more information about us. And this is where that best content email comes in. So you just heard me say we're offering value here. Value, value, value. So in this email, it's no longer about the appointment. This email is to showcase my best work. So if I'm a blogger, I'm sending out articles that have been very, very popular, but these articles are not just random articles. These articles are articles that are directly connected to the service that they initially thought they were going to sign up for. If you're on social media and you do really well on social media and there's some posts that have been popping for you, then send the social media posts. If there's YouTube videos that have done extremely well, then send the YouTube videos. If there are articles that you've written for other people, then send those articles. If you don't have any of that content for yourself, then you go and find statistics around the service or product that you offer. You go find other useful, helpful content, and you say to them, hey, a few days back, you were excited about meeting with us to talk about designing your home. We realized that we hadn't got you on the calendar yet. So maybe you need a little bit more information about how the interior design process works, or we're going to share with you some of our best articles on the design process or what you should be thinking about as it relates to hiring a designer. things of that nature. You see where I'm going? So anything that I'm sharing with them is going to help educate them on the process that it would take in order for them to get my end result. So in this case, Danielle's offering full service design. So we're going to offer content that's going to help them understand how working with the designer helps them save time, how working with the designer helps them create the home of their dreams, how to hire an interior designer, what you should be looking for as it relates to an interior designer, educating, value, okay? And we usually send about 3 pieces of content in that email. And if a person gets to this email, it's one of our most click-through emails because, again, it's about them and helping them make a decision and not so much about us. At the end of this email, we tell them, hey, hopefully this helps you make a decision. If not, in a couple of days, we're going to send over some case studies of some work that we've done in the past to let you see what it really looks like to work with us. Okay, and we give them a couple of days off, but we deliver in the next email those case studies. So whereas your landing page has testimonials, it's great things that people have said about you, your case studies are going to go into a little bit more storytelling. Okay, so you can even take those testimonials off of your landing page, but just tell a story behind how the person got there. Most times I send out one case study and just say, hey, I know that a couple of days back when you started the process of booking some time with us, you saw that we worked with Tashelle, and Tashelle is an interior designer of ours, so on and so forth, but this is her story. This is what happened. She came to us because she wanted this. We were able to do this together. And as a result, she's been able to do this. And this is how she feels about it. If you want to experience that for yourself, the complimentary call is still available. Okay. So it goes into further detail about what you're able to do. And that's 4 emails of value. Okay. After the 4th email, here's where I kind of draw the line in the sand, right? Because it does come a time where you either got to do something or not, right? And we're not going to chase you down. We are going to help you and to nurture you, but we're not going to keep chasing you. So in this final email, I'm going to let you off the hook. I'm going to make it like it's okay if you don't want to do this. And in this hard pitch, my email just says, hey, have you figured this out yet? Did you hire somebody already? Because I've been emailing you for about a week now, a week and a half, and I still hadn't got you on the calendar. And if it's okay if you've hired someone already, or if you've decided not to do this in this time, that's completely okay. But what I'll do is our calls are always available. Whenever you're ready, you can book that. But what I'll do is I'll keep in touch. And I'll send you some of our newsletters every once in a while. This sets up the expectation that we're going to continue to email you. It just won't be about the call. Make sense? And then from that point, if they don't do it, then we just put them on the long-term nurture list and we just email them when we email everybody else with the information that we would normally send out. But this is in place to nurture, to provide value, and to market for us so that we can encourage them to take the action that we initially wanted them to take. Make sense? And this part is important because this is where we fall short. Because if they don't take the action when we want them to take it, we assume that they are a bad lead. But the reality is they just need a little bit more time and a little bit more information from you. And as the business owner, it's your job to further educate them and get them to where they need to go as a salesperson. Make sense?
We're with you.
All right. So once it's done, if the person actually does what you want them to do, you want to set the expectations on what's next. So maybe they schedule the appointment on the thank you page, or maybe they scheduled the appointment from one of the emails that you sent out. Great, but you don't want to drop them here. Okay, this is very, very important. A lot of times with the automation, we say, oh, okay, they scheduled through my appointment scheduler, so I'm just going to send them reminders about the appointment, which is okay. You can do that, but you want them prepared when they come. This is the closing. All right. You want them prepared when they get to the call. So now is your time where that value proposition comes into play. All right. So yes, that initial email is going to confirm the appointment and what to expect. What should they bring? What are you going to do when you get there? Are there any questions that they need to answer pre-call? If so, then get all of those actions taken care of in this confirmation email. If there is space between the time that they meet with you and the time that they confirm their appointment, keep them excited. Don't just let time go by. You still want to stay top of mind, right? So send another case study. Send another story about what you were able to accomplish. Tell them about the possibilities. That's one of the emails that we send out. Oh, the possibilities. Imagine what life is going to be like when this happens for you. We're sharing prior success to keep them engaged, okay? This is a complimentary call in some cases. So when people do stuff for free, that the likelihood of them falling off is greater than if they paid for it. So if you're offering complimentary calls, then we want to keep them engaged until it's time for them to get on the call. And we do that by sharing stories, sharing prior experiences, so on and so forth. And then we remind them about the appointment 24 hours before and what to bring to the appointment. We show up, we have an amazing conversation, we ask our qualifying questions, and we position whatever offer we have based off of that conversation that we have in place. And boom, sales funnel has done the job that we likely would not have done had we have had to take all of those steps ourselves manually. Make sense? Y'all with me on that?
We are.
All right. All right. So this is the point in the presentation that if you have any questions, I'm here to ask. I really enjoyed kind of going through and answering the questions as they came about. But if there's any other questions about what we talked about, I'd be more than happy to chat with you about them now.
What tools do you recommend in terms of funneling? You have anything from Infusionsoft to ClickFunnels to, what are some of the tools out there that are most popular, and what have you seen to be effective? Or
So when we're building funnels, we look at the business as a whole. So when a customer comes to us and are thinking about implementing sales funnels into their business, I want to know what their business is going to do long term, because when you start to implement tools, they come with a cost. Yes. And we want these tools to not only support your funnel, but your business in general. We want this to be a good investment. So with the tools, I personally, 90% of my customers are on either Keep or Infusionsoft. And I know the reputation that Infusionsoft has. So when a customer is coming to me, if they are straight out the gate, we're going Keep, which is the baby system, because Infusionsoft is,
it can be confusing. Yeah,
it's a powerful tool. So to keep it simple, the reason why I offer Keep is because it has all of these elements inside it. Okay. Yeah. So it's got the appointment schedule. It's got the email marketing. If you don't have the ability to build a website, or somebody has built your website and you don't have access to it, we can build your landing pages inside of Keep. Everything is in one system. So when it comes to running your funnel, everything lives in one spot. In addition to that, if you offered some type of in-person service, you can invoice, do all kinds of stuff directly through there. If you are a product-based business, however, Keep is not the best solution for you, then that's where you start to look at like the ClickFunnels and the Shopifys, or running it directly off of your website and having landing pages and thank you pages set up for that. Yeah, it's Keep, Keap.
Keap.
And if you're interested in Keep, I am a certified partner for Keep. So I have some specials that'll allow you to try it for a number of months at no cost. So if you're interested in it, let me know. And I can get you access to it without having to make an initial investment out the gate.
How many funnels should you run at a time?
I build websites in a funnel base. So I think that when it comes to marketing, you campaign. Okay. So campaigning is focus. It's a central focus. So I'm creating content to educate about this problem, and the solution to the problem is this service that I offer. So that's a campaign, right? My content matches the end result. But you can have as many funnels as you need. I think for every service or for every process, you need a funnel. So let me explain what that looks like. Yeah. If you have a service that requires a phone call, that needs a funnel. If you are a coach that offers a course that somebody can buy on their own, that needs a funnel.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a physical product that you're selling that someone can purchase on their own, you need those products listed inside of your e-commerce shop, whether that's Shopify, WooCommerce, whatever. But you also need funnels for each one of those individual products if you're going to campaign for them. So I'll give you an example. I run funnels for a dentist, and she offers 2 products, teeth whitening combinations. Anytime we're bundling any of her products, we funnel it because we want that to be the only focus and the only intent for the customer, because we're trying to drive sales, if that makes sense.
It does. If you could, what is the code so I can put it in the comments? Because many people are asking for it.
Let me go grab one. Hold tight.
Okay. And while you're doing that, Mimi has a question regarding how often should I run a sale? Should you rotate the service you're selling, or is it okay if it's always the same service?
I think if you've got a singular service, then you run different promotions for the service, if that makes sense. So this is like in-depth marketing campaigning type conversation, but the overview is you create a different hook for the service. That's the simplest way I know how to say it. Sometimes it's discounts. Sometimes it's March Madness. It's a different angle. It's a different angle, a different story, but selling the same service.
And it might even be Mimi, because I know you have your reps and things of that nature. It might even be to a different audience or a different segment, or it might even be a different type. You might be like, okay, this month for cancer awareness, we're selling pink ones, right, at a discounted price. So it's coming up with different angles in terms of, you're selling the same thing, but you're not selling it the same way to the same audience.
Absolutely. For the person that needs the link, I am going to, Morgan, book a call so I can talk to you, so I can figure out which system you need, and then I'll give you the link appropriate to the system that you need. Anybody that needs a code for Keep, book a call, and then I will tell you, according to what you're trying to do, which system's going to be best for you to run, and then I can get you access to the proper discount.
Yeah, Mimi, in terms of how many times is it okay? You can continue to campaign and run funnels, but again, oftentimes the magic of it is that it doesn't have to be to the same audience. As you get better, you can segment your list by location, by target group, by various ways. Right.
So I know you have the wraps. So you might be targeting moms. 1 month is May. It's about to be Mother's Day. And for us mamas that have had a few kids, we want to get it tight, right? So if we want to work out for Mother's Day, your wrap might be a part of a gift guide for Mother's Day, and you might run a promotion specifically for moms. Buy the mom in your life a wrap, and this is the campaign that you're running for the wrap. For June is Father's Day, so you might hit the dads in June. For July is beach time, is 4th of July. There's angles that you have to come up with. I like to tell customers, look at the marketing calendar, look at the holiday calendar. This is what we used to do in retail. We would look at the holiday calendar, and for whatever holiday was coming up, we'd have a holiday sale. Same sale, didn't change much, but it's
just for the holiday.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
It changed. The only thing that changed was the graphic and the message. It's Memorial Day, so come get this matches because it's Memorial. I mean, it's just, you got to get creative and look at what's around you and just use those things that are already in place as the angle.
All right, Kay. If we were on trial, I'd say closing argument. What is your closing argument for sales funnel? And what is your closing argument for working with you?
All right. So as it relates to your sales funnels, it is a must. It does not matter what type of business you run, product-based, service-based. If you are looking for a way to automate your sales and to automate your opportunities for sales, then you want to get hyper-focused in the way you position your funnels, in the way you position your offerings through your funnels. It has been the thing that has helped me to be the mother of 4, going to football and band and track and all the other kind of stuff, but still be able to gross my 6-figure income every single year. And it's because I have systems in place, that market for me after I've done the fun work on the front end. If you are overwhelmed by the idea of creating sales funnel, or even intrigued after today's information, and you know that this is something that you want to implement into your business so that you can increase your bottom line, then we offer complimentary calls. It don't cost you anything but about 15 minutes to have a conversation and figure out how we can help. The offer is up. All you have to do is click the button and go schedule some time for us to talk, and we'll talk, and I'll point you in the right direction for helping you to get your funnel set up and off the ground.
Kay, I think you have closed that sale. Thank you so much for joining us.
Funnels are there. Everything that
I know you are the funnel queen. So best believe once they sign up, they can branding mastermind, where we're taking individuals from zero to brand in 30 days. And Kay is going to be a part of that process also, in terms of being one of our special guests. So please, if you want more information about that, hit your brother up. I ain't hard to find.